Now, from Central Oregon's news leader, this is News Channel 21 at 6.
Good evening, I'm Lee Anderson.
And I'm Kathy Marshall. A fight between two men in Prineville leads to one being shot and killed. The other is detained by police.
Police say it happened around 4:30 Sunday afternoon at the Iron Horse Mesa Apartments. The first officers there found the 27-year-old victim, Cade Riley Nickel, was not breathing. He died at the scene. Police quickly found and detained a 29-year-old Prineville man whose name has not been released. There's no word at this time of any charges, but officials say there's no danger to the public. DA Carrie Hawthorne says the two men knew each other, and the victim entered the other man's apartment where they got into a fight.
Bend police today released surveillance photos of a gunman firing shots in a southeast Bend neighborhood. Residents were woken up by the sound early Saturday morning in the area of Perel and Badger Roads, and they got texts from police telling them to stay inside. Kelsey McGee has an update.
One man who lives in the area told us it was obvious the weapon was a 9mm as police were picking up brass casings behind Joann's Fabrics at the Outlet Mall. Bend police did not confirm that, but say they located the firearm during the search. These are the images released by police today showing a man in a sweatshirt and jeans. He walked through the neighborhood of Perel and Badger, firing into the air. There are no reports of any injuries. Police located him with a drone on Silver State Street, but by the time Central Oregon Emergency Response Team arrived, he was gone. The weapon was later found. It was a frightening morning for residents in 1 mile of the area. They were told in text from police to shelter in place for a few hours early Saturday morning.
I've been asking to have a little something camera installed around my house, and now it's really important that I do, because I have a front of my house and a back of my house that's exposed to streets, and it was very scary for me to think that somebody was that close to my home.
Rose Speck said, "It's not the same little town my children grew up in, and now my grandchildren are growing up in." Bend police ask residents to be on the lookout for any shell casings, gunshot damage, or other evidence. If you find any evidence, make sure to call the non-emergency dispatch line. Kelsey McGee, News Channel 21.
An 89-year-old Sisters man faces charges for a hit-and-run crash. The Deschutes County Sheriff's Office says it got reports of a car hitting a pedestrian standing at a parked vehicle in the block north of Pine Street in Sisters. Deputies reviewed video surveillance and determined Richard Anthony Bassett's vehicle was the suspect vehicle. The pedestrian suffered minor injuries.
A Bend man faces DUI and felony hit-and-run charges in a crash that seriously injured a motorcyclist. It happened around 3:30 yesterday afternoon at Cooley Road and Hunter's Circle, east of Highway 97. Police say the 47-year-old male motorcyclist was heading west. The driver of a Mazda sedan was going east on Cooley Road, turning left onto Hunter's Circle. The motorcyclist hit the back bumper and was taken to St. Charles Bend with serious injuries. Police say the driver left the scene and was found several blocks away on Hunter's Circle. He was taken into the Deschutes County Jail. Newly elected District Attorney Steve Gunnels is in his first week on the job, although he's no stranger to prosecuting cases in Deschutes County. Bola Badabo talked with him today about his priorities as he takes on the top job.
I care very deeply about public safety, and the role of district attorney is extremely important in ensuring that the public feels safe in their homes and with their families.
The newly elected Deschutes County DA has known since the 6th grade he wanted to pursue a career in law.
I used to argue with my parents. They told me that I was gifted at it.
Gunnels grew up in Deschutes County, graduating from Redmond High School and Oregon State University before going on to Georgetown University Law School with the goal in mind to come back and keep his community safe.
He served the county as a prosecutor for the past 28 years, 20 of those as Chief Deputy District Attorney. Now taking on this new leadership role, he hopes to reduce the communication gap COVID created and build strong relationships in the community.
The big area of opportunity right now is opening up lines of communication with law enforcement, with the courts, and with the public in general.
He shares his top objectives.
Our biggest priority is the prosecution of major crimes that occur in Deschutes County, murders, domestic violence, child abuse, anything involving fentanyl and traffic crimes.
Gunnell served 20 years as a family drug court prosecutor, work he plans to continue.
The Family Drug Court program is a very structured program that connects people who are addicted to drugs with treatment for drug addiction, mental health problems, and for opportunities to get jobs.
On the issue of homelessness, Gunnell knows it's a complicated problem with no simple solution.
The way the District Attorney's Office interacts with homelessness generally is when there's a crime committed either against a homeless person or by a homeless person, and so we will continue to act to prosecute cases in that of that nature.
Gunnell's will work with a staff of about 25 lawyers and 50 professional staff, including investigators, legal assistants, and victim advocates. Unlike other offices of its kind, they haven't had to deal with staffing shortages.
Our lawyers, our staff, our victims advocates seek justice every day and give victims of crime a voice in the criminal justice system.
After a cloudy start to the day, we had some clearing this afternoon. Many areas seeing much welcome sunshine by late today. Beautiful shot of Mount Bachelor there. But Chief Meteorologist Bob Shaw says more storm activity is on the way.
Well, we are looking at some more storm activity. It may break up just a little bit tonight, but it's all part of this massive system that is moving into the West Coast. It has really bombarded California with a lot of rain and snow in the Sierra Nevadas. Central Oregon, we've been getting some of this. Especially heavy earlier this morning. It does look like it'll break and give us some partial clearing overnight. And with that clearing is going to come some colder temperatures. We'll look for overnight lows that'll be in the low, maybe mid-20s. So watch for an icy morning tomorrow morning. I'll give you a little more information on your extended forecast in just a few minutes.
There's a change in the services provided by Mount Bachelor after a staffing setback this season. The Mount Bachelor Daycare Center will be closed after months of waiting for background checks from the Oregon Early Learning Division. Tracy Tuesday is here to explain.
Background checks are a requirement for working in child care, but when those applications aren't processed, it causes a stalemate for businesses. New workers are unable to rotate in, and old workers have to pick up the greater slack, which was exactly the case for Mount Bachelor after submitting employee background checks in October. The resort has spent the last few months making do with fewer workers cleared to work with children than expected. While confident that the daycare center will reopen this season, the timeline is unknown due to higher strain on the Oregon Early Learning Division than usual.
We managed to get ourselves through the Christmas holiday season, but now we just we do not have any consistency in staffing, but from day to day that we can actually run the facility without fear of actually shutting down when someone's here. At first, we really thought it would only take a couple of weeks, but now it's been into a couple of months. We've been in contact with them and they say they're trying their best, but we really have no idea of when those background checks will be through.
Mount Bachelor is optimistic that childcare will return to the slopes before the end of the season. Tracy Tuesday, News Channel 21.
A program to help families with financial and child care challenges has openings for more kids. Blake Mayfield tells us more about this free assistance.
Bend Preschool is currently under capacity with children in some of their classes, but with the help of a federal grant, they're hoping to fill those available spots. Bend Preschool is currently going through a shortage, not of teachers or supplies, but kids. The preschool offers free classes Monday through Thursday for 3 to 4-year-olds through a program called Preschool Promise.
Comfortably right now, I know we could have at least 10, maybe 15 more kids in our program at this facility.
Preschool Promise is a publicly funded program serving families with incomes at or below 200% of the federal poverty level.
My older son was in it first, and I just went online, Googled, and there it was, and it had so many different options. And the minute I got Bend Preschool, it gave me the option for Preschool Promise, and so, yeah, it was super simple.
There's 2 locations, one in downtown Bend and one at Pilot Butte. The general manager believes they have openings because some parents aren't aware of the resource or have trouble accessing it.
I feel like a lot of people probably search Preschool Promise, and what they should be searching for, the website that they're going to go to is the OregonGrowKids.org. So that's a little bit of confusion to where they're not finding the right website or going to the right place.
At GrowCentralOregonKids.org, parents can enroll kids and find if they qualify for the free classes. For Natalie, finding the resource 2 years ago has made an important difference for her kids.
It's been amazing. Having both my kids be able to be in school and learning and developing amazing skills and social skills, it's been huge.
Preschool Promise is licensed for up to 49 kids and currently has 15 spots open. The class runs Monday to Thursday from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Blake Mayfield, News Channel 21.
Tonight we're asking if you've had any trouble finding childcare in the last year. To weigh in, head over to our web poll on the KTVZ.com homepage. Walmart's hosting a Wellness Center Day. We'll have those details coming up. But first, a few new changes are headed to the state of Oregon. That's up next.